only started it because I know that some of you will start texting me talking about Carrie at 6 o'clock. And I know that Keisha's saying that she's not getting an answer. Um, the studio, the engineer in the studio is running a little bit behind. I don't really know how much is a little bit. I don't have a clue. Um, but he's supposed to let me know second that he's in and that he's at the desk. As soon as he does, we can start. I don't. But right now, I don't have a signal from the station. Good morning, Marcia. Good morning, Keisha. Good morning, Karen. Folks are logging on, but we don't have a signal from the station. For those of y'all that can hear me, those that are logging in on, hey, Stu, good morning. Wonder whose campaign you helping out with so far this year. Um, for those of y'all that can hear me, we will be live and on air shortly. Okay, if Keisha, you can hear me then, and that means Doug's in the studio. Da, da. So Keisha texted me and she said that she can hear me. So clearly my voice is going into the studio, so that means he's at the desk. But we've got to push a few buttons in a few minutes. For those of y'all that can already hear me, Keisha chose this morning's topic, and the title, "Married but Miserable." I could never have been that creative. Um, Keisha thought about it. We tossed a bunch around a whole bunch of things. But as long as I'm killing time, let me say this: for those of y'all that can hear me, one day next week, for those not dead, they haven't gone away. Those are the same folks who you will see their kids have grown up and are running for public office and they're doing things like pulling some books off of shelves and saying. The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media. We've got you covered from sun up to sundown. Good morning. It's Kerry Jackson, the conservative. Gonna cover a lot of ground today. I don't think that the police should decide, it's time for us to escalate stuff. Oh, no. It's got to be a fine line between we're going to keep order. But not, we're just going to get out here and knock people upside the head. Everything that you think is settled law can be done away with. This is the game they plan to play. The question that you've got to ask yourself is, what are you individually going to do about it? Weekdays on 910 AM Superstation. Good morning, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative, together with my Friday co-host, Keisha. Good morning, Keisha. How are you?
Good morning, Kerry. I'm good.
All right. For those of you that were not listening on any of the streaming services, Keisha chose this morning's topic, which is married but miserable. I know that some of you are going to weigh in and say, but Keisha's not married. How does she know? It's Keisha's job to pick topics. It's not her job to be married. It's Keisha's job to pick topics, those things that I would never be able to dream of. Keisha's, as y'all know, very well plugged in around the community, and she's got her ear to the ground about what people are talking about. And so this morning on what y'all have titled, I'm gonna stop saying that. But this morning on Relationship Friday, we're going to discuss the topic married but miserable. Listen, you don't have to be married to wind up being miserable. And simply because you're married doesn't mean you're always miserable. But I promise you, everybody who can hear our voices knows somebody who's both married and miserable. And after Keisha said it last night, I found a quote from comedian Chris Rock, where he said that only married people know what it's like to be both married and miserable. I guess at some point in time you would have to have been married in order to know what being married and miserable is. The question is, should couples stay together when they are absolutely not happy with each other? And so before I share my opinion on it, Keisha, what do you think?
Well, I titled this Miserably Married instead of Married and Miserable, but Miserably Married. And I say that because I know a lot of married couples that they stay together. They're not happy with each other, but they're staying either for the kids or the financial pacification or the insurance. And some people are married on paper, but they haven't lived with each other in 5 or 10 years. They've been separated, and they're just there because there's some financial identification, insurance, something to it. But they're not physically in a marriage. They have a outside girlfriend or boyfriend, and I've heard people who are married say that they can't function in their marriage without someone on the side. I've been around married couples, and I listen to them literally hate each other and say negative things in front of people about each other, but won't get a divorce. Or, and this happens a lot with females. I can't say it with guys because I don't know, but a lot of females like that title of wife, and they so stuck on being a wife instead of being happily divorced, they'll stay miserably married just to prove to everybody else that I'm a wife. And a lot of females are stuck on titles. A lot of people in general, but mostly females, we so stuck on titles and the perception of what we should be or what marriage should be or the ideal life and family has to be a husband and a wife that we'll put on the facade to be happily married in public, but at home we're throwing stuff at each other. We sleep in a separate room. We barely talk to each other in the house. But when we go out in public, we love each other, we kissing on each other, we in church with each other, but we don't like each other once we get in the house.
So and Keisha's unpacked a whole bunch of stuff, but as somebody who was previously married a couple of times in one marriage that, ended a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure that I've shared with y'all, we were unhappy with each other. We were not satisfied being in the marriage for a very, 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 very long time. But we have, Karen says she's got 3 ex-husbands. I've got 2 ex-wives. That there were reasons that we stayed together. And I've had this conversation, God knows how many times, with people that said, if y'all are not married, if y'all are not happy, you should just get a divorce. You should just get a divorce. That phrase rolls off people's mouths so easily that they don't have a clue that there's actually a bunch of reasons that couples decide that they're going to stay together, especially once they have, listen, people that have not stood in front of a church and made vows to God, it's pretty easy for you to say, oh, I'm tired of you, bye. Grab your 2 pair of shoes and hit the road. But once you're in a relationship where you have taken it to that level of, going and getting a marriage license, actually having a marriage, starting a family, buying a house, once you've got a bunch of other stuff, the things that you can't just walk away from in about 5 minutes, life becomes a lot more complicated. Now, the one thing that we're never going to wind up talking about on the show is you're never going to wind up hearing us promote staying together if you're in a dangerous situation. No. Somebody's jumping on you, beating you up. If you're going to work with black eyes or makeup and you're trying to cover up the black eyes, or you've got a black eye and you just are avoiding going out in public because you don't want people to see it, you need to seek help. You've got to get out of that dangerous situation. If your life is in danger, you got to go. There is none of that rationalizing, I'm going to stay because of A, B, C, and D if you're in a dangerous situation. Those are not the people we're talking about. The people that we're talking about today are those folks. They're not in a dangerous situation. It is just not an ideal situation. So I want to ask Keisha before we go to the lines, tell me this. What do you believe in your own mind that an ideal marriage is like?
For me, it's one that we've built. We've built each other. We built a foundation because I believe in God. It's set on God. One that we communicate, we compromise. It's consistent. and I know I can probably say this on the radio, but sex is a big part of the relationship. We're both sexually
How come you can't say that on the radio? It's Friday. We talk about sex. You can say sex on the radio. Go ahead.
One that, for me, I have a child, and if they have a child, we both assume full parental roles of each other's children. And your family is my family now, and vice versa, because I'm big on family. So we have to spend time with our families we have together and with our nuclear family and our family. So for me, that's it. And one of this, I'm be honest, I like my space, and I like somebody that is okay or who accepts me to be like. I want a relationship or a marriage where we're not trying to change the person we knew we got involved with. If you've seen some things that you knew you couldn't tolerate before you married them, you probably shouldn't marry them. I want to be able to know what I like, dislike, and what I can tolerate. And I want to be able to be in a relationship and say, or a marriage and say, you know what, I couldn't tolerate this before we got married, so I probably shouldn't have married him. So I want us to be tolerable, like each other, even when, because you can love somebody, but you cannot like them. I want us to love each other and like each other.
Now, those of y'all that are out there that hear Keisha in her fantasy world about, I want you to love and like, and I want this and I want that. Other than Carrie running my mouth to tell Keisha why everything she just said is based on some sort of fantasy that doesn't exist, I need y'all to call and tell Keisha that. Hold on a minute, Keisha. The number is 313-778-7600. 313. Say what?
But PG, I think that isn't PG the one that calls in every week that has a great marriage. There's some people that call in and love and have a great marriage. They call into the show that have been happily married for years to the one same person. Just called into the show multiple times. I'm not thinking PG is one of them.
PG is one of those that is married and she truly loves her husband and she makes sure that we know about it every time that she calls. You're right. But the thing is, marriage period, relationships period is not all pie in the sky and we're holding hands and we like each other and we love each other and we're going to work together towards this or else we're going to go in different. There is so much that comes into play when you've got two different personalities and y'all can both want something, on Tuesday in July that you both are totally not in agreement when December arrives. Life evolves, marriages evolve. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. It is 6:14. We're going to take our first break of the morning. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to start taking calls. 313-778-7600. We'll be right back.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. The Word Network has been broadcasting inspirational messages around the world since the year 2000, and we keep getting bigger and better and more innovative. Seen all around the world, we bring you the best teaching, impartation, singing, and inspiration. If you want original programming, we have that too. The Word Network is your exclusive source for all things inspiration, and we can be found on every device imaginable. If you want to be uplifted and inspired, you need the Word Network.
Did you know most vitamin supplements don't even come from food? Even the products with colorful fruits and vegetables adorning the labels are seldom derived from produce. Typically, supplements are synthetic, made in a laboratory. Modern science may synthetically imitate these chemicals, but your body isn't fooled. It knows the difference, and it craves quality materials to build, repair, and fight illness. You need to consume fruits and vegetables daily in a variety of colors, as well as whole grains and other fresh food. That's why I formulated Balance of Nature. I wanted to be able to give my patients a natural alternative to the cheap, unnatural chemistry by giving them real fruits and vegetables. In fact, the only ingredients inside of Balance of Nature are whole fruits and vegetables. Don't settle for imitation nutrition. Reach for the good stuff, the real stuff.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code RADIO5.
My 38 is offering a great special that cannot be refused. Are you looking for a great deal on TV advertising? Are you searching for an avenue to get your business name out to the public? With My 38, we are offering a great special with 100 commercial ads for a great price. This offer is for a 30-day ad placement. Please contact Devin C. for more information at 248-357-4566 or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
We've got you covered from sun up to sundown.
Good morning. It's Kerry Jackson, the conservative. Going to cover a lot of ground today. I don't think that the police should decide, it's time for us to escalate stuff. Oh, no. Got to be a fine line between we're going to keep order. We're just going to get out here and knock people upside the head. Everything that you think is settled law can be done away with. This is the game they plan to play. The question that you got to ask yourself is, what are you individually going to do about it?
Weekdays on 910 AM Superstation.
All's my life, hard times like bad chips like Nazareth, I'm stuck, homie, you stuck, but if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry Leon Jackson together with Keisha Carr. This morning we're discussing relationships. Should you stay in a relationship where you're miserable? It's actually, as Keisha corrected me, it's called miserably married. Those folks who are married and who are miserable, why are you staying? Should you stay? Should you leave? 313-778-7600. Let's talk to James. Good morning, James.
Terry.
Hey, James, how are you?
Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Yes. My thoughts on that is being married and being miserable. That's no, I don't think you should stay in a relationship like that. We should really look at our position before we get married. The man's role is to protect, provide, and maintain. That's what God says. He's the protector, the provider, and the maintain the woman. If he can't do either of those things, or if he's failing in his role in those things, you're going to have some problems anyway. Because that's just the role of a man. It's locked in his DNA. And if he can't function like that, then most of the time you're going to have problems. And the biggest problem that I see is being married and, you got a white fellow said, a Caucasian man said once, he said, a black fellow got married, he was taking the vows, and he said, how can he stand there and say that he's going to protect, provide, and do all of those things for the woman in the name of God, and he got to come to me for a job? as if he was giving the man.
That's because that white man that opened his mouth and said that is one of those folks that's raised to believe that they run the world and that nobody else has the right to go out and make money and protect their family, any of the other stuff. The only person that was wrong in that scenario is not the man who married the woman. It's not the black man who married the black woman. It's the white man that felt like he owns the world and that everybody has to come through him. And that's just actually not the way things are.
Absolutely.
You're right. Anything you want to add, Keisha, before we roll on to the next call?
No,
go ahead.
You touched on some great points with marriage and the men being the leader and the protector and the provider, because sad to say in this generation, most men don't encompass those moral character traits, and most of them don't even learn themselves before they jump into a marriage, to be in a marriage with somebody. And a lot of, in this day and age, and I'm just being honest, some women ain't gonna like this. Some women have lost their femininity and this independent thing. Now they want to act like they're the man and run a relationship, and that doesn't help with a real man. Like if you got a single man or he kind of weak, he might allow it, but I don't want no man that's gonna allow me to run nothing.
313-778-7600. Thanks for your call, James. Let's talk to Fernando.
Yes, thank you, Gary, for taking my call. I thought Keisha did an excellent job in explaining the necessity of comprehending what it is that you want in a relationship, being able to communicate, being able to have your own space, being able to have a mutual compatibility with family on both sides. I think those things are important. And I also can use my own experience of being married for over 38 years, that marriage is a give and take thing. And I think for the most part, when you allow God to be the centerpiece of the marriage, I think that you can work through problems. I think that you can come to an understanding and begin to build that relationship.
I agree, Fernando, but do me a favor, because you just lost me. I definitely believe that, first of all, once Fernando said that he's been married for 38 years, he established credibility none of y'all can deal with. He is already, he's gotten there. He's figured out what it took to go from year 1 to year 5 to year 10 to get to 38 years. So everything that comes out of Fernando's mouth, y'all need to write it down, and we need to figure out a way to duplicate it. When Fernando just said, but let me tell you the one thing that I don't know whether he's learned how to cooperate and to, you know, in this give and take thing. So he's being nice to Keisha when he said that she made sense when she said have your own space. Man, explain this to me. How on earth can you decide that you're going to share your life with somebody and you're going to become part of their life and they're going to become part of yours? And then you said, but we're going to let them have their own space. What is their own space when they're married?
Well, what I'm trying to say, Kerry, is sometimes we have those moments to where we want to just isolate ourselves, think over some things, and reconcile with some indifferences that we might have.
Go outside, sit in the car, and listen to some music for an hour. I understand that. Is that what you mean by giving me your own space? Because I got to tell you, when Keisha said it earlier, I thought that she meant, listen, I need to go out. I'm going to take a vacation, and I'm going out and just go hang out for a while. I'll see you in 6 weeks.
You when I say that, I meant like, I don't want to have to do everything with you. I want to be able to have my time, my me time. I want to be able to enjoy my friends. You should have your friends. We don't have to do everything together. You should be able to hang out with your friends and your boys or your college roommates or whoever it is, and it's not a problem for me. Go enjoy yourself. Have a good time. See you when you get home.
See you when you get home. Okay, now that's different. All right, because when you said your own space, listen, everybody's supposed to get up and go to work. You know, I don't need to see you all day long. I don't need you. I don't need to talk to you and check in with you every hour. I will see you. You know, if you got 9 to 5s, you go that way for 9 to 5. We'll go this way 9 to 5. But at the end of the day, at 6 o'clock, we both gonna be at home. Or whether, you know, if you're gonna stop out with your girlfriends and hang out for an hour, then you call and say, I'm gonna hang out. That's one thing. If that's what you meant by have your own space, then that's fine. But I thought that if you meant have your own space, mean I'm gonna live in Houston. You're gonna live in Arizona. Bye. See you. Talk to you in 6 weeks. Okay.
And then too, Kerry, excuse me, you have to ask yourself, haven't you had some time to where you just wanted to do Kerry? Haven't you had some time where you just wanted to sit down and think things over? Haven't you took some opportunity to go somewhere and just gather your thoughts? I'm quite sure you've done that on many occasions.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I enjoy doing that. And it's at this stage of my life, it allows me to get focused on doing the stuff that I want to do. But you know, at the same time, you know, as you said, marriage is give and take. A lot of folks don't understand that. A lot of people figure out, listen, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. And you got to be in a position to say, I'm gonna leave it. Never mind, because that's not what I want.
Let me add one other point too. And money has believe it or not, economics play a big part in a relationship, and especially today, over 57% of marriages don't work due to the fact of economic woes or not having economic plans or economic stability. So handling that money and doing what you're supposed to do properly with the finances, I'm telling you, it goes a long way, because people get angry when there's no food in the house. People get angry when the lights get cut off. People get angry when there's a conviction notice on the door. So I highly recommend that the money be handled properly. And thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling in. 313-778-7600. Let's talk to Jamal.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. Thank you for calling.
Hello? All right. Hello? Jamal? I guess we lost him. That was the part that sounded all jumbled. Go to Kenny. We can start Kenny, and we might have to take him back after the break. Good morning, Kenny. How are you?
Good morning, Kerry. I like what you would be saying. It is a give and take. I've been married twice. First time 23 years, this time 20. I'm in my 20th year with my wife now. Keisha, all that sound good, but you have to build on that. You're not gonna get that going into a marriage right away. And the brother talking about a man, but it's also a lady role that has to be played in a marriage. You know, he's bringing Bible and stuff, but you can't use that because it's different times now. People, if a person say your place is in the kitchen cooking and cleaning, woman ain't gonna accept that. You have to work together. Both of y'all have to be out there working. Yeah, and I'm like, Karen, if you need that much, a lot of time to yourself, you should have got married. You know, no, you ain't got to do everything together. You don't have to do everything together. You get your time, but I'm like, you can't just go away and then tell me I'll be back. I need the time to myself. Then my thing is, because everybody's different. You know, we get time. I go fishing. That's my time. I learn fishing. I'll be sitting out of water, put my thoughts together.
Do me a favor, Kenny. Do me a favor. I want you to continue it, but do me a favor. Hold that thought. We got to take a really quick break. It's only 3 minutes. I'm gonna pick you up when we come right back on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
But if God got us, then we gon' be all right. 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 Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be all right. We gon' be all right. Huh? We gon' be all right. We gon' be all right.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing has parts and accessories to keep your truck rolling right. Parts like lift kits, intakes, exhaust, tires, lighting, and more. From custom grills to tonneau covers, Summit Racing has you covered. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Hi, this is PG. Today's topic is about school buses and when drivers need to stop. I am here with Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron and Farmington Hills Police Chief Jeff King with an important traffic safety tip just for you.
When the lights are flashing yellow on the school bus and you're driving on a two-way roadway, that means to slow down, pass with caution, and be prepared to stop.
When the lights are flashing red and the stop sign is extended out, you are required to stop, keeping a safe distance from the bus. Do not attempt to pass. This includes drivers going in the opposite direction. You too must stop if there is no barrier wall or median.
While the stop sign is extended out, the school bus is loading and unloading students.
All traffic should remain stopped until the stop sign has been retracted, the doors are closed, and the bus proceeds to move forward.
Let's stop.
Together we can keep
Our kids safe.
This traffic safety tip has been brought to you by PG and the Two Chiefs. The all-new 910 Superstation is your #1 source for urban talk radio. If you're looking for the best in radio programming, look no further. You can now listen in on a multitude of audio platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Listen Notes, and coming soon to Amazon Music, Good Pods, and Overcast. 910 AM Superstation, the largest, strongest, 50,000 watt urban radio station in town. 910 AM Superstation has the greatest advertising deal ever with our Godfather package. 100 spots for $600 with a must air within 30-day policy, and we will even produce the spots free. That's right, free. Call Devin C. now at 248-357-4566. That's 248-357-4566. Or email at d.calhoun@thewordnetwork.org. This excludes political ads.
WADL gets a facelift and is now My 38 Detroit. Along with a facelift comes new programming on Mondays at 8 p.m. Catch a 2-hour block of Law and Order SVU. Tuesdays, Chicago Fire. Wednesdays, Dateline. More Dateline and Chicago PD on Thursdays and on Fridays. You'll get more Chicago PD to start your weekend. We'll still have some of your favorite shows like Mom, Blackish, and Friends. Just adding more for you to enjoy on My 38.
The 910 AM live stream can now be seen on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, YouTube Red, iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, Amazon Kindle Fire, any Windows phone. Watch us live at 910amsuperstation.com.
910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media. We've got you covered from sun up to sundown.
Good morning. It's Kerry Jackson, the urban conservative. Gonna cover a lot of ground today. I don't think that the police should decide, it's time for us to escalate stuff. Oh, no. There's got to be a fine line between we're going to keep order. We're just going to get out here and knock people upside. Everything that you think is settled law can be done away with. This is the game they plan to play. The question that you've got to ask yourself is, what are you individually going to do about it?
Weekdays on 910 AM Superstation.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This Carrie and Keisha is on this Relationship Friday. Let's go back to Kenny. All right, Kenny, I'm sorry we had to go to break. Go ahead, you can finish up, brother.
Thanks, Kerry. I'm sorry, I forgot to say hi to Keisha and Luke. Good morning to you. You got, I like the topic that you have, Kerry. But marriage is you have to work at. It's a lot of ingredients to go in a marriage. It don't just happen. You can want, you can feel this way going into it, but it's something you have to work at. You got to have that respect in there. You got to have that understanding, and you got one main thing you have to have is not having friends get into your marriage and things. If you have things you're going through, you need to work through it together because people gonna tell you things what they would do, but it might not be good for your marriage. So we have to be careful with that, and things. It's a give and take, and I like what Kerry was saying, and I'm not going to hold. I'm going to let someone get on because I know Kerry had an hour, but I appreciate Kerry taking my call.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you for always being there, and we're going to support you like you support us. All right, let's go to Raphael.
Have a great weekend.
Good morning.
Good morning, Raphael.
Yes, sir. This is my bailiwick, man. I love talking about relationships and marriage. And I like to say good morning to Keisha. I appreciate everything that she said this morning. Marriage is work. I've been married for 26 years, and for each and every 26 years, we've entered into some type of positive counseling our marriage. As a matter of fact, we have an organization called Agape, Uniting Families for Christ. And we have a couples retreat every year, man, and it's powerful. We talk about Christian marriage. We talk about subjects of communication, intimacy, finance, blended family. We talk about a whole myriad of things that help strengthen marriage. And so we're having a couples retreat this year. It is April 28th and April 30th at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air, Michigan. So we invest in our marriages. We come together and we talk about these issues. We talk about these roles that have been raised. So marriage takes work. It's a blessing. You know, my wife has a intuitive nature that I don't have, I don't possess, and I've learned to tap into. And I've hit the bullseye every time. And so I just love this conversation that we're talking about on relationships.
So you realize, Raphael, now that there are people sitting out there who don't, you know, they're in a marriage, they're a little bit frustrated. They're very frustrated. They don't have a clue where to turn. They have not joined the right church. They have obviously never run into you and the other members of your Agape group. How on earth can they find you? How can they find your church? How can they get more information about driving up to Shanty Creek? How can they reach you?
Yeah, it's not just one particular church. We've gotten together as an interdenominational group of churches in Metro Detroit, and we have people that come from all over. But we have a website. It's Agape, and I'm gonna give you the website. It's auffc.org. auffc.org. It stands for Agape Uniting Families for Christ.org.
auffc.org. Agape Uniting Families for Christ. auffc.org. Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Man, I appreciate you for calling. I'm glad you were up to say something made you tune into the radio show today. That information needed to be given out.
I tune in every day. It's just that, you know, when you're moving and shaking, man, you gotta just keep moving and keep moving.
You gotta keep moving. You're right.
I listen daily, but if you got couples out there that are having trouble in their marriage, we do counseling. If we can't handle the situation, we will make sure that you talk to legitimate people who know how to work through these situations and circumstances. So, man, I'm really excited. So if you got couples out there, go to that website. Yeah, send me a shout out. I'm Raphael Davis. I'm a board member. Send me a shout out, and we'll make sure that you get the information. And don't let money stop you from going. We have scholarships, and we want to make sure that marriage is strong. We want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to have a strong marriage.
Well, let me tell you, I've not been to Shanty Creek in at least 20 years. Y'all need to know Michigan is a beautiful place. It's got a lot of beautiful retreats. It's a beautiful drive up. And you know, especially if you're going up for the reasons that you've just talked about, you know, it gives you an opportunity to drive up with the person that you're with, as well as to drive back. And you need that escape. You need to get away from all of the problems of the city and go up and spend time just with like-minded couples, other people that are looking forward to moving our community together. I am so glad that God blessed his brother in order to call and share that information today. Thank you, Raphael.
All right, brother.
Have a great day. Let's talk. Have a great weekend. Let's talk to Dorian. Good morning, Dorian.
Good morning, Dorian.
Good morning, Chief. Good morning, y'all. Thanks for taking my call. Pretty interesting topic brought up by somebody that's not married. I would say this much. Marriage should be, it's like it's a business. You know, if you think about it, what's the only thing that is just as tedious to break up and to dissolve is a business partnership, right?
And when the business partnership ends, it's always complex in order to try and dissolve it and try to wrap those affairs up. But brother, the one thing that I do know, marriage is a heck of a lot more complicated than even the unwinding business. If you've got, it's easier to get out of a business partnership than it is a marriage.
Possibly, but it's just about the same thing that the government looked at it the same. But nevertheless, friendship founded, which is a relationship, which you should be with your mate, should be a friend. It should be founded like on business. And the business is you're working together. You may have goals. And like what my man Fernando was saying, and I think Keisha was trying to elaborate on, is that everybody does need their little bit of space. Some guys, they go get a man cave, or ladies that have their little time out. But you know what? The one biggest issue that I see, even with the glass guys, everybody in your mix is gonna always throw what you have with this only person you got off. Everyone's always trying to compare marriages and relationships, and they're all like snowflakes. There is no two alike. No relationship is like the other relationship. So all the advice that everyone's trying to give, I believe, if you really want to be happy, you gotta make yourself happy. That's key. But you gotta have enough space to allow yourself to be happy. You should never depend on someone else to make you happy. That's the first mistake. A lot of people thinking like, and then there's the whole thing of I'm gonna put a title on I'm a wife, or no, that doesn't mean anything. Remember, let's go back to what this is really about. And technically it's a business. And the only way a business is gonna thrive and last long is that only the two people that's in the business is operating on the same thing. Now one person may allow certain stuff, like you say, give and take. That's all it is. It's just give and take. But there is no right or wrong way of doing it. And then if you are the person that some people are just, I hate to say it, you're just home, so you might as well just stay single. You know what I'm saying? Be in partnership with somebody, and you have a single-mindedness. You know, some women, look, you have some women that have masculine energy, and you got men that have feminine energy, right? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So sometimes you just might as well stay to yourselves and be by yourself. And I find often those people who feel like that, that's feeling like they gotta have it this way, and it's got to be perfect, and the temperature just got to be perfectly right, and they have to dress a certain way and smell like this, and be this, and be all of this. That relationship don't never work, because that person, honestly, who feels like that, is probably insecure. That's where all of this comes from.
They're not just insecure. You got to know that something messed their heads up. They were told this is what a relationship is supposed to be. They grew up with expectations in their mind about what the relationship is supposed to be, and everything they were told is a lie. They don't find out until they're grown that, oh my God, it's a lot more complicated than I ever thought it would be.
Right. And tell me this. Try to outline a snowflake. You can't do it. There's no two alike. So if someone got advice looking from the outside, looking at, well, that's how that marriage works, or that's how that, you could be totally, it can jive totally against who you really are as a person and your character. So I just think like everyone kind of gotta find their way. But we gotta maintain the fact that once you link up with somebody, once you get to that point of you saying I do, it's a marriage.
You're right, brother. We got to go to break. Thanks for calling in and for sharing. Y'all, we've had 45 minutes of men running their mouths about with their opinion. We need a female opinion when we come back on the other side of the break. PG, you're the first caller, so we come back. It was a very quick break. We'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who've agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patent
designs. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation, demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had no energy for months and months and months. I had no energy, and I'm a very active person. And my husband was noticing that I was tired all the time, and I was slow at everything that I was doing. And I kept listening to the commercials, and you don't know if something's going to help you or not. But I decided this was something I was going to do. And lo and behold, in about 4 days to taking them, I was repotting plants. I was doing other things. My husband said to me, "You seem to have more energy." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." And I'm telling you, nothing has ever made such a difference. So anyway, I'm very happy.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code RADIO5.
Attention! Do you owe back taxes, fines, and penalties to the IRS? The IRS now offers new relief options for taxpayers affected by COVID-19, but you can't go it alone. Call Tax Solutions now. Our team of former IRS agents and tax professionals can get you the best deal. We know the COVID-19 rules. Call us and never speak to the IRS again.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
The virus has caused the IRS to take extensive action to help taxpayers. So if you owe $10,000 or more, this is the best time in years to settle your tax debt.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
Remember, the IRS will not give up until you pay. Call 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499. 800-683-9499.
We've got you covered from sun up to sundown.
Good morning. It's Kerry Jackson, the urban conservative. Gonna cover a lot of ground today. I don't think that the police should decide, it's time for us to escalate stuff.
Oh, no.
There's got to be a fine line between we're going to keep order. We're just going to get out here and knock people upside the head. Everything that you think is settled law can be done away with. This is the game they command to play. The question that you got to ask yourself is, what are you individually going to do about it?
Weekdays on 910 AM Superstation.
Welcome back, Metro Detroit. This is Kerry and Keisha with y'all on this Relationship Friday. We spent the last 48 minutes with a show where a bunch of men have called in and shared their opinion about how hard marriage is, that marriages work, and nobody's really talked about the initial topic of should you stay together if you're miserable. I've not heard not one person yet call in and say, yeah, even if you're miserable, you need to, whether you need to stay or whether you need to leave. The one point that everybody has made is that marriages work. And that point has been hit home over and over again by a bunch of men that have been in very, very long-term marriages. I'd like to hear the female perspective. Good morning, PG. How are you?
Well, good morning. The talkologist decided to call in and speak to K&K. Kerry, you got your secret weapon today, Keisha. Good morning, PG.
There ain't nothing I can't do without my secret weapon. If she's with me, we got it.
You got that right. So check this out. Marriage can be beautiful. Love is a many splendid thing, but if you are miserable and the two of you just can't see eye to eye, I have the philosophy that if you love something, you set it free. If it returns, it's yours, and it was meant to be. And if it doesn't, you didn't lose anything. Sometimes you have to do that, but see, when you take time to think love, to feel love, to try love, you have a better chance of being together. You cannot be something to someone else that you are not to yourself. So if you don't like yourself, you're not going to like the other person. If you don't love and respect yourself, you're not going to do that to the other person. You have to get to know you first and know what it is that you really like, but you have to be authentic and truthful with what you want. Your expectations can't be over the mountain and through the roof, and you don't have that same frame of mind. Like minds usually get together. Spiritually, you have to be equally yoked with someone. And then why? That caller called in and said, you know, that there's this couples retreat, and I think that's a great idea. But why would someone be jealous of your relationship when they should try to look at what you have, what you're so happy about, and find it in their mate? Carrie, you know how I feel about my husband.
Yep.
And I've heard people say, well, he doesn't get on the radio and talk about her. He doesn't have to do that because the way he makes me feel, I'm telling you how much he loves me because I love him the same way he loves me.
Anybody that doesn't understand that their relationship is their relationship, he has his strong characteristics, she has hers. And if y'all ain't figured it out, their marriage works for them.
Absolutely.
And it's very, very hard finding that right, or even recognizing them when they're there, finding that one person that the marriage works for. So, but I mean, the one thing that I'm glad that we got this morning is the perspective of a bunch of folks who actually have been there, who have tried it. Because you do know that we get fed a whole bunch of stuff from people that ain't never been in a long-term relationship. They wouldn't recognize it if it was at their door. And they've all got opinions about how you should wind up living your life. This morning, we've heard from a bunch of people who know what it's like to actually have to put it. Everybody said the exact same thing. Marriages work. There is no, magic recipe. I mean, I like what Dorian said about every marriage being like a snowflake and they're all different.
Yes.
But
he said it well when he said that. But you know what, Carrie? What my husband and I did, we married both fingers. So you've got your traditional finger that the minister does and does the vows with you. We married and put rings on that other finger, and we said our own vows. And I believe by doing that, when you think of the scripture, what God has joined together, let no man or woman put asunder. For us, it was holding the hands together, both sets of our arms together, and just marrying that. And I think that if you marry the other finger, you don't leave it open for something else to come and try to get on that. That was what was good for us.
All right.
Every time you see us wearing rings, we've got on rings on both hands because we married both hands, and it does work for us. And Keisha, I'm so glad that you are Carrie's special weapon, and I think that we need a K&K at least Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So can you consider letting us have you?
Well, here's the deal. Hold on before you spoil the surprise. I'm covering for Anthony Adams on Tuesday from 9 to 11. I'm going to be live in the studio, and the person that's going to be sitting next to me live in the studio on Tuesday is Keisha. So we're going to have 2 hours. 2 hours of me listening to Keisha run the world. All right. So y'all know what's happening. So, but check this out. So Tuesday morning at 6:00, my show will still be pre-recorded. So I will be asleep from 6 to 7. Then I get up to shower, shave, and I'm going to physically head into the studio. And Keisha and I will be there Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. But since we're out of time right now, I'll tell y'all, I will be here live and in person and on the radio Monday morning at 6 o'clock by myself. I will join, but I mean, I'm never by myself. All of y'all are always with me, and I appreciate that. But Tuesday from 9 to 11, you will, if you tune in on any of these social things, you will see me and Keisha in the studio live and in person. Okay, PG? All right.
And I'm going to be listening.
All right. I'm glad that we taking baby steps, y'all. We're going to do it on the Tuesday from 9 to 11, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Y'all just Let's be happy. Let's live in the moment. Let's enjoy it. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you, Keisha, for getting up and joining me. You and I talk over the weekend about what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. But next up is State Representative Joel Jones. Either he or a member of the foundation will be in the studio, live and in the studio. And they're going to cover information, give you information and inspiration from 7 this morning to 9 o'clock. And then not because today's Friday, not Anthony Adams, but Charlene Mitchell will be in from 9 to 11. I will talk to each and every one of you 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Y'all get out and enjoy the weather today. It's an ozone action day, which means it's going to be really, really hot and it's going to be really, really muggy. And then by the time I talk to y'all on Monday, it'll be cold again. So enjoy the weekend. Everybody stay safe. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.